Here's the bridegroom. Hey everyone, I want to thank you first and foremost for clicking that thumbnail. And if you did, I know you're here to see to look into some archaeologist, is that a word? Archaeology that has proven the Bible. That's right. That's going to be the topic of today's live stream. And hey, we have so much more. So stick around with us. And this is one you've got to see. That's right. We're going to be taking a look at some archaeology, if I can get my tongue to get untied, archaeology that has proven the Bible. You know, archaeologists, I guess that is a word. Ha! Anyways, archaeologists have been using the Bible for a long time to figure out where to search for things, and it has been very helpful to them. Not that long ago, we did a live stream about the Ark of the Covenant. We've had Pastor Webb in here to talk about the Ark of the Covenant, and not that long ago, we talked about the Ark of Noah. Sorry, too many arcs. I'm getting them confused. I apologize. But I digress. Anyways, I'm a goober. But we're going to keep on going because we have a lot to go over today. And if you stick around with us until we get into our members only, which, by the way, hey, members, my members out there, I have noticed that none of you are watching the members only live. So I am begging you, pleading with you, if you're a member, just stick around on the stream and it will automatically continue over for you if you're watching live. But yeah, I've just noticed that none of my members are watching the live, and I would really like it because it is a new feature that YouTube has started, and I would really like to utilize it. And in tonight's live stream for our members only, we're going to be talking about the craziness going on in the WNBA. Yeah, just like last week, there has been more things that have come up with Sophie Cunningham, the league debating on whether transgenders should be allowed to play in the WNBA, and we're going to cover another topic called black fatigue. We're going to be talking about that in our members only. So if you want to see that, hit the join button below and become a member. And then all you have to do is just keep watching and the stream will continue for you if you're a member. But in the first part of this, in our public live, we are going to be taking a look at some archaeology. That's right. That proves the Bible to be true. Amen and amen. And amen. Can I say amen one more time? Amen. But before we get into all that, I need to tell everyone out there and remind them to hit that like and share button. That's right. Simply by hitting that like and share, you tell the algorithm that this podcast, this video is something worth seeing, and they will push it out to more people. And we appreciate you doing that right now. Hey, and while you're there, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time we go live or put out a members only or put out a new video. That's right. Also, if you do decide to leave a comment, if you are one of my members and you leave a comment, it gives me a little badge over here so I can tell, and I make it a point to respond to all my members' comments. Also, if you leave a super chat, because super chats are enabled, I will respond to all the super chats as well during the live so everyone can hear your comment and hear my personal thoughts and response. Amen. Now, if you don't want to become a member and deal with that monthly membership fee, another way that you can help to support us here at the MNC is simply by buying some merch.
Oh, hey, what's up, MNC family? It's Dennis. If you've been rocking with the channel, you know we're all about the faith walk, spiritual renewal, and shouting reborn loud and proud. That's why I've launched the Midnight Cry merch shop. Unique Christian designs that let you wear your testimony every day. Check these out. Premium hoodies, comfy t-shirts for men and women, snapback caps, tote bags to carry the word, even mugs for your morning devotional. All high quality, on-demand print, and starting around $23 to $49 depending on the piece. Real talk. This isn't just merch. It's a way to rep your faith boldly, start conversations, and keep this channel going strong with more content that matters. Every purchase helps fuel the mission. So, if you're ready to level up your wardrobe with designs that declare reborn and Jesus is King, head to the shop now. Link in the description. And the merch shelf is enabled below the video. Thank you so much for the support. It means everything. Can't wait to see the pics of you all rocking the Midnight Cry merch. Tag me if you do. Let's spread the light together. Shop now, stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next one.
That's right. Hey, the merch shelf is enabled below the live stream tonight, and you can help support us simply by buying some merch. Hey, and remember, it's not just merch. It's a message of your faith. That's right. Amen. Now, we do have one comment. Finding City of David. That's right. The Shroud of Turin. That's right. Sulfur at Sodom and Gomorrah. Yes. And the Ark in Turkey. That's right. I did a live stream not too long ago about some new findings. They've been doing some new, here lately, some new radars into the ground right there where they believe is the Ark of the Covenant, and they're finding more proof that proves that the Ark of the Covenant. Why do I keep calling it the Ark of the Covenant? The Ark of Noah, that Noah built right there on Mount Ararat in Turkey. That's right. So they've been doing some new radar stuff. Matter of fact, I seen some stuff. I probably ought to added it in here today, but I didn't. I apologize for that. Maybe I can do another live stream and include that for you guys. Amen. Amen. There's also been some new radar stuff. I don't know if anyone knows. For underneath the pyramids in Egypt, and they're saying that they see some columns under there, and looks like a big room underneath it. But of course, that's people are debating that online. To each his own. I don't know what to make of it. I saw the actual data that these guys are looking at, and I'm like, man, I don't know how to read that. So I'm going to have to go off the experts, and the experts are debating and arguing over, because for the pyramid one, they use some new technology. Well, on that subject, the Ark found by Ron. That's right. We have had our good friend, Pastor Bill Webb in here, and he actually talked with Ron and went over there and followed his steps in Israel, and he showed us some of the pictures and some of the video he took over there. Although I will say we were having audio issues that day, but you can find that video on our page if you decide to go look it up. He went over there and followed Ron Wyatt's steps, and shows you where Ron found it in the cave, and pictures of where it's located and all that. So it was a great live stream. You ought to check it out down below on our page. Now, before we get in too deep into tonight's live stream, on Mondays, as always, I like to promote some type of Christian culture. That's right. So we're going to get into our Christian culture part of the live stream. That's right. On Monday nights, once again, I like to promote some type of Christian culture because here at the MNC, we believe that the best way to take back the culture is simply by putting our money where our mouth is, right? We need to support Christian content creators, Christian music creators, movies, books, your YouTube content creators, i.e., me. Anyways, but by putting our money where our mouth is, we tell the rest of the world, hey, this is what we like and this is what we support. And that is the best way we could take back the culture and put Jesus Christ in the forefront. Amen. So on tonight's live stream, our Christian culture that we are promoting is going to be a book. Now, full disclosure, I have not read it, but I thought it was prudent to promote Dinesh D'Souza's new book, The Stones Cry Out. Why? It's because he spent 3 years over in Israel. I don't know if it was all at one time or off and on. 3 years over there and going through and looking at all the archaeology for himself that proved the Bible, and he wrote a book. And so this book took him 3 years to write. And but here it is on Amazon. You could buy it for about $27. You see the price right there, $27, $26.98. It is on Amazon. And just so you know, links to everything that we're talking about tonight is in the description below. Click the Amazon link for Dinesh D'Souza's new book and check out what he discovered about the archaeology that proves the Bible. Now, we do have a short little Fox News thing from Dinesh. Author Dinesh D'Souza challenges Bible skeptics with startling archaeological discoveries. Let's read a little bit. First on Fox, a trip to Israel by best-selling author and filmmaker Dinesh D'Souza sparked what would become a 3-year deep dive into biblical archaeology, a field he says offers striking support for the historical authenticity of the Bible. In an interview with Fox News Digital, D'Souza said he became fascinated with biblical archaeology because it stunningly supports the historicity of the Bible. The Stones Cry Out, his new book, is a culmination of a multi-year effort that began in 2022 and is scheduled to hit shelves on October 13th. Let's take a look at this video and see what he has to say about it for himself.
I think that the skeptics generally are sort of armchair critics. They will say things like, sitting in my armchair at the University of Oxford or at the University of Tübingen, I don't see how this could have happened. And much of the skeptical commentary is of that nature. The problem for them is that archaeology is digging out of the ground.
That is 100% right. If you ever speak to a philosopher or a theologian or anything that doesn't believe in these things, that's pretty much, well, I just don't see how it could be true. So I am with him on that.
Artifacts that are a decisive refutation of the things that they say. So, for example, for a long time, skeptics said that they had no evidence for Pontius Pilate. And others said that even if we believe that Pontius Pilate existed, the Bible has his title wrong because the Bible describes him as the prefect of Judea, whereas he was actually the procurator of Judea. Now, the reason the skeptics say this is that later in Tacitus, the Roman historian Tacitus, he speaks of that exact position as procurator. So the skeptics go, there you go. The Bible writers didn't even know what they were talking about. Pilate was not the prefect. He was the procurator. Except in 1961, an Italian expedition is digging in a region called Caesarea Maritima in the northern part of Israel. And out of the ground comes a stone tablet. It's a dedication to the Emperor Tiberius. And it says on the tablet, Pontius Pilate, prefect of Judea. Boom. So not only does it confirm the existence of Pilate, but the Bible writers had his title exactly correct. Later, the title was evidently changed to procurator, but in Jesus' own time, Pontius Pilate had the title that the Bible ascribes to him. So here's another example of how the skeptics sort of pompously assert something, and then archaeologists who are doing the actual work of pulling things out of the ground go, actually, sorry, buddy, but your position is unsustainable in the light of what we just found. Kind of looky here.
Amen. Amen. So let me okay. That did it on its own. Sorry about that. So that is right. And I thought it would be prudent to have the first thing that we go over. The first archaeological find is what he mentions there, the Pilate Stone. This is it. This is an image of it right here. They pulled this out of the ground, and I can't read Greek. Maybe you can, but they say that this calls Pontius Pilate the prefect, or in other words, governor of Judea. Let's read down here a little bit about it. Archaeology and the Bible, the Pilate Stone. Pontius Pilate, prefect of Judah, has dedicated to the people of Caesarea a temple in honor of Tiberius. In 1961, archaeologists discovered a plaque fragment at Caesarea Maritima, an ancient Roman city along the Mediterranean coast of Israel. The plaque was written in Latin and embedded in a section of steps leading to Caesarea's theater. Well, I said Greek. Apparently, it's Latin. The Pilate Stone is historically significant because it dates to Pilate's own lifetime. It is a contemporary evidence, yet powerful, illustrating the distinctly random nature of archaeological discovery. The excavators could easily have missed it, simply discarding it as rubble. But the 4th century, it had been incorporated into the set of stairs in Caesarea Herodian Theater. There, in the inscription, faced downward. Fortunately, because the position preserved it from being worn out, so it landed just right to where the inscription was on the ground, and so the ground preserved it, and so you didn't have all the rain and stuff eroding it away. Now, before we go on, as he said in the Bible, skeptics of the Bible used to use this until that stone was found. Use this Bible verse right here, Matthew 27. We are going to read verses 1 and 2. They would use this passage as a means of saying, see, the Bible isn't true because Pontius Pilate wasn't prefect, or i.e. governor of Judea. That wasn't his title. Well, then the stone came to be and proved the Bible to be true. When morning came, all the chief priests and elders of the Bible conspired against Jesus to put him to death. They bound him, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate, the governor or prefect. Now, let's keep on going, because as I said, we have a lot to go over. Another archaeological discovery that proves the Bible is the incredible tunnel of King Hezekiah. That is right. Let's read down here a little bit about it. I wanted to read this portion right here. Anticipating a devastating attack by the Assyrians, King Hezekiah fortified the walls of Jerusalem and bolstered its defense. But one thing troubled him in particular. Jerusalem's main water source laid outside the city walls. Not only would they lose access to their water supply, but the enemy would enjoy an unlimited amount of water for its troops. Under such circumstances, Jerusalem was in the gravest danger. According to biblical story, Hezekiah launched one of the most technological complex operations in all of ancient history. He decided to reroute the water source into the city limits, thereby securing his own water supply, whilst depriving his enemies access. But how could this be done? Only by boring a lengthy tunnel through solid rock. Amen. That's right. Let's take a look at a video of somebody giving us a tour of the of Hezekiah's tunnel. Let's take a look real quick.
Hey everybody, Tucker Mail here at Hezekiah's Tunnel. This tunnel was used as a waterway to supply the water to the old city of Jerusalem. We're gonna go check it out. It's about a 30 to 40 minute walk, very narrow. We're gonna get wet, so join us if you will. Oh my goodness, look how narrow this is. I gotta get a photo.
That is a very narrow tunnel, but it was intended only for water to be coming through.
First of all, continually blown away by what we're finding in ancient times. People carving out of this rock waterway to supply themselves with water. I just cannot imagine. Just look how the width is about the size of a normal man, and to think about coming down here and setting up a waterway is just incredible. Now, some of it's probably natural from the water carving away through erosion, but just the ingenuity of man is really impressive. And then just thinking about having an entire city with a water supply like this, really interesting. Well, after about 25 minutes of walking in the size of the tunnel consistent to what you saw the entire time, we have made it to the end. We have come all the way now to the pool that the water would have gathered at for people to come and gather the water. And this is, I have to say, this is one of the coolest experiences that I have had in Jerusalem. Hezekiah's Tunnel, everybody.
Hey man, Hezekiah's Tunnel, everybody. Tell me, you guys, what does that look like water that you would have drank? I don't know if I would have drank that water. But maybe back in Hezekiah's time, the water wasn't so dirty, and maybe they had a way of cleaning it out. I know you could boil water, and they got ways of purifying it. You see those videos online where people take dirty water and purify it using like plastic bottles and a little bit of and a little fire and stuff. So there are ways to do that. Now, let's keep on rolling on here. Let's see here. Our next one is going to be, let me bring you back up over here. This is oh yeah, the Walls of Jericho. The Walls of Jericho. Oh wait, I wanted to read this for you guys before we went on. I almost forgot. This is the Bible verse. No? Oh, I didn't bring it up. I apologize. I think they brought it up on the, but Chronicles, maybe I can, give me just a minute and I will bring it up for you guys. I forgot to bring up this Bible passage. This here. Yeah. First Chronicles. Well, if I can spell. 32 and jobs. Well, Spell it. What is going on? Not wanting to work for me. Maybe that's what happened to it. It is not wanting to bring up First Chronicles. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, I apologize for that. But First Chronicles, if you want to read about Hezekiah's tunnel, you can read it in Second Chronicles. Maybe that's I'm sorry. Man. Hey, don't worry guys. We're professionals here. Second Chronicles 32. Ah, that's what it was. Because there isn't a First Chronicles 32. So, Second Chronicles 32 verses 30 and 31. Right here. It was Hezekiah who blocked the upper outlet of the spring of Gihon and channeled it down to the west side of the city of David. And Hezekiah prospered in all that he did. And so, when ambassadors of the rulers of Babylon were sent to him to inquire about the wound that had happened in the land, God left him alone to test him, that he might know all that was in Hezekiah's heart. So, right there, it tells you about the tunnel that Hezekiah dug out, Hezekiah's tunnel. Now, we're going to keep on going. Let's see here. Marty Python and the Holy Grail and the meaning of life too. Obviously, I digress, question everything, but honestly, how much do you need? That's right. Well, we're as Christians, we're told to be good Bereans and test everything. Paul says that. So that is a good format to way to live your life. You know, just don't believe everything offhand, but go and test it. You know what I mean? But yet, how much more proof do you need? There's a point where you just, okay, it's just never enough, and you're just not going to believe. I agree with that. But let's read about Jericho's wall. The biblical narrative of the wall of Jericho that collapsed at the sound of trumpets is one of the best known stories in the Old Testament. For over a century, archaeologists have excavated the site identified as ancient Jericho in search of concrete evidence. But what has science actually discovered? Did the wall exist? Did they fall as described in the book of Joshua? And most importantly, when did it happen? This article presents a complete analysis based on biblical sources, archaeological records, and historical research involving what we know for certain and what still remains under academic debate. Here is the city of Jericho from up above. You can see it right here on your screen. And so what they're saying is, okay, we know where the city is, but where was the wall? So let's read. The biblical account, according to Joshua 6, after 40 years in the wilderness, the people of Israel were ready to enter the promised land. Jericho would be the first fortified city to be conquered, guarding the strategic access from the Jordan Valley to the central mountains of Canaan. The conquest of Jericho did not follow conventional military patterns. For 6 consecutive days, the Israelites marched silently around the city once per day. 7 priests blew shofar, ram horn trumpets, while carrying the Ark of the Covenant. On the 7th day, they marched 7 times. The priests blew the trumpets. The people let out a deafening war cry, and the walls fell flat. The text is specific. The walls fell flat down, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city. Now, here are some pictures of the people who have famously excavated Jericho. But let's take a look at this drawing right here. This is where the double wall. I thought this was interesting and wanted to read a little bit about that for you. Excavations revealed impressive fortification. Outer walls approximately 2 meters thick. Inner wall about 3.5 meters thick. Distance between walls approximately 4.5 meters. The walls fell outward and downward, creating ramps of rubble. This pattern of archaeology unusual. In typical military sieges, walls fell inwards into the city. Intense fire destruction, preserved grain, the archaeological anomaly, late bronze and ceramics. But we do have a video from Dave, Drive Through History with Dave's Stats. Let's take a look at this video and let's take a look at some of the evidence for ourselves.
Amazing story. For many years, due to the research by the famous archaeologist Kathleen Kenyon, the answer was no. Due to her misdating the destruction of the city, there was a huge discrepancy between the archaeological record and that of the...
Now, really quick, he mentioned that lady's name. This is her right here. Right there. That's the lady that misdated it. But let's let him finish.
The Bible. However, if one properly dates the city's destruction to roughly 1400 BC, things quite literally begin to fall into place. Now, I'm standing in front of this lower part of a retaining wall in the ancient ruins of Jericho. Now, this part of the retaining wall, this lower part, you can see is built out of these huge rocks. Now, up above it would have been built out of a reddish mud brick. Now, what archaeologists have discovered is that the reddish mud brick fell outward into this area right here and would have provided a perfect siege ramp for the Israelites to walk into the city to conquer Jericho. Now, did you get that? Archaeologists have uncovered the remains of mud brick walls, which had been supported by a stone retaining wall. These mud brick walls had fallen outward and created a ramp of sorts up into the city. This evidence is what we'd expect to find after reading the Joshua 6 accounts. As soon as the people heard the sound of the trumpet, the people shouted a great shout, and the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they captured the city.
Amen, amen. So let's read Joshua real quick. Joshua 6:20 and 21. So when the ram horns sounded, the people shouted. When they heard the blast of the horn, the people gave a great shout, and the wall collapsed. Then all the people charged straight into the city and captured it. With the edge of the sword, they devoted to destruction everything in the city. Man, woman, young and old, oxen, sheep, and donkey. Oh, might help if I bring it back up for you. Right there. Joshua 6, this is verses 20 through 21. So that is, now there are plenty of other archaeological discoveries that you could, that can prove the Bible. I have one person in the comments naming some of them, i.e. the city of David, the Shroud of Turin, the sulfur of Sodom and Gomorrah, the Ark in Turkey, the one that Ron Wyatt found, the pool of Siloam, and of course, there are plenty and plenty of others. Hey, did you know, since we like to use Bible Hub for reading all of our Bible passages here, You can search archaeological discoveries in the search bar, and it will bring you up the top 10 if you want to go and check all them out. I only did 3 for the sake of time, but they have 10 others. I find it funny that I did was a little sad to not see the Ark of Noah on the Bible Hub website, but I digress. That's our public live stream for you. Now, if you want to see the members only portion where we will be talking about all the chaos going on in the WNBA and give you a biblical and Christian response to it, you can hit that join button right below.
What's up, MNC family? It's Dennis here. Quick question for you. Are you loving the videos but want even more? Behind the scenes, the raw talks, the community vibes? That's why I've launched memberships. And right now is the perfect time to jump in. Become a member today and unlock monthly exclusive members only videos. Bonus content you won't see anywhere else. Priority replies and shout outs and comments, plus live chats. Custom bridegroom badges and emojis next to your name. Early sneak peeks at upcoming projects without delaying main uploads. Starts at just $1.99, less than a fast food run. Multiple tiers so that you can pick the budget that fits for you. Real talk, with just a handful of members so far, every single one makes a huge difference. Your support lets me create more, better content and keep this channel independent and growing. You literally become part of the core crew. If you're ready to level up, get the extras, and join an awesome small but mighty community, hit the join button right below video or in the description. I can't wait to welcome you inside and drop that badge next to your name. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Let's build this together. See you on the inside.
That's right. If you want to see our response to all the chaos going on in the WNBA, our Christian perspective, and a biblical response to all that, hit that join button below, and I hope to see you on the inside. Now, also, before we go, I see this another comment. Looking forward to Mel Gibson's part 2. That's right. He has been making a part 2 to the Passion of the Christ, and I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. But did you know that The Chosen season 5 will be coming out in November? I'm looking forward to that because this is the season with the crucifixion. And if this is your first time at the channel, I have a cool little story with that because The Chosen is filmed here locally by me. Matter of fact, probably about 45 minutes to an hour up the street from me, because I am in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Matter of fact, I am probably about 10 minutes away from the Dallas Cowboys Stadium and the Texas Rangers Stadium. I'm probably about 10 minutes away from them. And so going the other way is where they're filming. But I don't do this as a full-time job. This is just a little side thing that I do. These live streams online. My full-time job is Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and I make all your street signs. You know, the stop signs, the yield signs, all your, Jesse Street, all your neighborhood signs with the street names, all the way up to the big, huge highway signs that hang over the highway. That's right. I make those. One of the guys that I work with, he also has a little side job that he does at home called Dallas, that he calls Dallas Sharpening, if you want to Google them. They do great work. And what they do is they sharpen tools. Like if you have a machine, like your lawnmower blades, if you want to resharpen them instead of buying new ones, you can call him up. He'll sharpen them. He does a lot of knives. He also makes knives. But The Chosen, the prop director from The Chosen, called him up about, I want to say 3-4 weeks ago, and asked him to sharpen some knives. And when the prop director dropped the knives off, he told them that they needed them to be sharp enough to cut fish. Now, when I heard that, I knew exactly what scene they were getting ready to film, and that's the scene where it's after Jesus has come back, they're out. Peter and them are out there fishing, and Jesus is on the shore, and then Peter goes swimming to him, and they're cutting up fish and cooking it, eating fish for breakfast. Have any of you ever ate fish for breakfast? I haven't, but apparently the Lord and the apostles did. Uh, but I thought that was a little cool thing. But the Chosen Season 5 is about to start. And with that, I will let you know that we are about to go into our members only. We have set the timer and we have a minute. So if you want to, you can hit that join button and become a member and check out where we are going to be talking about all the chaos going on in the WNBA, and an interview from Valuetainment, the PDB, is that a podcast, where they talk to a man about black fatigue. We're going to be talking about all that in the members only. Now, if you're already a member, all you have to do is continue to watching. The live stream will continue for you. It's a new feature that YouTube has, and we have decided to start utilizing it up the wazoo. Ever since they started it, we've been doing it at every live. But seeing how we got less than 10 seconds, I will say I love you. And here's the bridegroom. Here's the bridegroom. Come on out to meet him. Come on out to meet him. All right. It looks like our members only live stream has started. And